there it is. Going through the prompts. Anyway, happy Friday. Welcome to the ORIN Oracles Live. Coming to you live from Town, and got a special presentation since we had some glitches in our matrix last Tuesday. Graham and Brian have lovingly agreed to come back, and they're with me. I've got them on the Skype, and so we've tested everything, and everything's everything. So it's a really beautiful day to be alive. And hey, there you go, Sonia Casing, Mike Loopers. Hey, thanks for joining us. Anyway, yeah, life's good. I've got an awesome lineup of guests coming up in the weeks to come, and I'm really excited about it. Next week we're going to have Lana Love. The following week is going to be Andrew Visker. The following week is Kirsten Lazur, and then Glenn Dixon. And I had a long conversation this morning with my dear friend Monica Shute, and so we finally pinned down a date. So the calendar is filling up with some lovely, lovely guests, and I'm excited about it. Now, I had a, hey Carol, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. I had a conversation yesterday with my coordinator at the publisher. And so what's happening is that, number one, I did a good job editing. She was very impressed. So I'm excited about that. But the reason I bring this up is this is the last couple days. That if anybody wants to submit any comments to be added into the book, they need to be done very quickly, because I have to send in all my final stuff on Monday to her, which also includes anybody who wants to contribute and donate $25 or more towards the publishing costs, which I have one more balloon payment next week. And you'll be guaranteed a signed, personalized copy. And you can do that at paypal.me/Weedu. So anyway, hi Denise, Glenn, nice to have you. And so I'm going to bring both Brian, he's in Ireland, and Graham's in Cornwall, if I'm not mistaken, in the UK. And I'm going to bring them on right now, but let's check audio. So if once they start talking, if anybody can just give me thumbs up or whatever to let me know that you can hear them fine, that would be great. Hi guys. Hey.
Hi, Casey. How are you? Hope you can hear me okay. Hope everything's better than me.
Yeah, Brian,
Hi.
You're going to need to speak up. Graham, go ahead and talk.
Hi, my friend. It's great to be with you, Casey. And thanks for asking us on the show, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So, I want to start with you.
Do I sound any better now, Casey?
A little bit. Can people hear Brian okay?
Just go testing, 1, 2, 3. Any better?
Yeah, Casing Keith, he says all clear. So I think we're good to go. So I want to actually start with Graham. And Graham is their co-hosts, actually, Brian and Graham, on a radio show. I was invited to join them in a month or so ago. And Graham had not gotten on board yet with the urine therapy. But I want to check in with you first, Graham. Tell us what's been happening with you. I know you've gone. You had a little challenge there in the first. So, can you tell us where you're at now?
Well, at this point, Casey, I've stopped doing the UT. It went like this. You came on the show on the Monday, and I was challenged. Will I take up the challenge? And I said, well, if I don't, I'm a big pussy, aren't I? I was taking moringa, which is an energy leaf crushed down, and to take it, I was getting energy from it, but I just could not stomach it. In fact, if I think about it too much, it makes me feel ill. So I thought, well, if that is so bad, then drinking your own wee is not going to be such a bad thing. So the following morning, I thought, okay, let's go for it, let's do it. And, you know, it was so easy. I put down half a tumbler, and I thought, okay, that's that done. I had a little drink afterwards. I forget what it was, just to swish my mouth around and to take any taste out. But it was done. As the day went on, I was fine. Whether I was feeling a natural high because I'd actually achieved the aim of drinking my own urine, I don't know, but I felt fine. I had to go out in the evening around 8 o'clock. And when I went out, I had to see a man about a dog. And when I came out of his house, I felt something hit the back of my throat. It was like, I know an old woman who swallowed a fly, you know. I just felt something hit me. And I started to cough. Now, the cough, just unknown to me, got progressively worse as the evening was going on. I didn't really think a lot about it. And later in the evening, I would say in the early hours of the morning, I was chatting to a friend of mine in Canada, and I just started coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing. The next day I did the wee again, I believe. I was okay. Well, that evening, when I did it on the first day, that evening, I noticed when I took it, I had a clarity in my head. It's like things were clear. The mist had cleared. I could think clearly, which was impressive. And I thought, well, I'm going to carry on with this. But I did, like I said, develop this cough. Now, the following day, I woke up. I do suffer from lack of energy. Fibromyalgia, they think it is, or ME, whatever you want to call it. I get an awful lack of energy. And the following day, I got up normal time, which is about lunchtime, because I'm a nighttime worker. And I just walked the dog, came home and had my tea, and the cough was getting worse, and I started to ache all over. And I found out that there's a bad flu bug going around. But what I found out later was that it was a chest infection, and this went on for 3 weeks. But during that time, so I did day 1, day 2, and then I said to Bryson about this. I said, "Man, I am so ill. Now, is it the UT, or have I got an infection here? I don't know what." But Bryson said, "Well, just keep taking it, man," because I stopped for a couple of days. So after a couple of days, Bryson said, "Well, just take a little bit, you know." So I was drinking like an inch in a tumbler. I carried that on for another week. And I think it was just over a week, and then I stopped because I wasn't improving. My health was bad. Now, I need to mention at this point that I take a lot of prescription. I'm what I'd call a drug addict, a prescription drug addict. I take 2 nitrazepam sleeping tablets, which are strong, and up to 6 painkillers a day, plus an antidepressant. And I also take half a beta blocker because I had triple bypass 8 years ago. So I decided I would stop. That didn't make me feel any better. But during that time, I wouldn't get in any better, because 3 weeks later, I had to go to the doctor and say, "Look, I'm not getting, I've been on my back, or I've been in bed here for 3 weeks." And he recommended me a course of antibiotics, which I took. And from that moment on, I started to make progress. And it's been, I'm 66, so it's very, very slow. I've not been this sick since I was, I can't remember when I was last this sick. I must have been a little kid, a child. So I basically stopped it, Casey, after a week. And I've not gone back to it because I thought, before I go back, I've got to get my health back to normal. Now, I'm getting sorted as the days go on now. After I'd done the week of the antibiotics, I started to get stronger every day, and I am getting stronger by the day. But it's very, very slow. I'm still not right, but I'm getting closer and closer to it.
No.
So I stopped.
I want to interject.
Okay.
I want to tell you a story I just read.
Okay.
And it was a testimonial, actually, from Monica Shute. She just posted it an hour or so ago. And she was telling, and this was back in the days when she was still like totally eating shitty food, drinking heavy, smoking, living a fast life. But she was doing urine therapy all the while. And she had this infection that kept spreading. It started in in one of her legs, in her groin, and then this thing was just getting serious. It was knocking her completely over. She couldn't walk. She couldn't even get up. She couldn't even pee. She couldn't do anything. And she did an aged urine injection in her buttocks. She had a friend do the injection for her who was a nurse. And she explained how this whole process just went, it was like going to hell, she said. But everything disappeared. The infection went away, the headaches, the comatose state, all of that. Within 24 hours, her whole life had turned around. Her whole health was restored. She knew instinctively to stick with the urine therapy because her friends would have, if anybody saw her, she was fortunate she was alone, but if anybody had seen her, they would have oh God, we got to get you to the hospital, man. You're going to... She just rode the pony. She rode it out. So I'm telling you this tidbit, Graham, because urine therapy, absolutely, unconditionally, it works. Whether you're on drugs, meds, this, that, the other, all of that stuff is moot. It's moot. So,
one of the things I did do, Casey, I stopped taking the urine therapy, and I just got to get myself sorted down back to normal health. Before I start, normal health for me is just feeling reasonably okay but having no energy. And I did get a lot of aching legs, which I sorted out with using MMS. But with urine therapy, I stopped because I really was sick, my friend. I was sick to the point I thought I was really, really poorly. I've never been that sick.
Right, and I don't want to underestimate that. I'm not denouncing any of that, Graham. I'm being loving and supportive in my measure here because...
But the one thing
I'd love to see you get off meds. Taking all those antidepressants and all that shit, man, I would love to hear the testimonial recovery of that experience for you, my friend.
Yeah, me too.
Big time. And you've been doing this shit for 30 years, right?
30 years, yeah.
30 years of meds? Yikes.
But,
crazy.
The one that, you see, because Bryzer said that he has amazing dreams. Now, all I seem to have is nightmares and disturbing dreams. When I did urine therapy, I had two incredible dreams. Incredible. One, I don't mind telling you either. One, I was talking with Bill Hicks. I don't know if you're aware of Bill Hicks. He's one of the great.
Yeah. No, I know who Bill Hicks is. Yeah.
I was having a chat with him. Clearly having a conversation with him and then talking about when his new album is coming out, etc. And the other one was a piece of music that I wrote, which has become a standard in Cornwall and will outlive me for years. I wrote a song about Cornwall, and I heard it being played by an orchestra, and it was absolutely sensational. I've never heard anything so beautiful in my life. It was like my music was being played by an orchestra. I was taking a solo on an oboe. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. So I did have two amazing dreams on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and also when you came on the show, Casey, there was a couple of other people who became guinea pigs as well. And one of the friends who keeps in contact with me, he's not been able to play his guitar because of arthritis. And then he's decided, all of a sudden he could move his hands again and start playing the guitar. So there is very, very much positives out of it. Also, then he had to stop for a short while, and he couldn't wait to get back on the urine therapy again. And once he did that, his hands, the arthritis went out of his hands. So he is absolutely, the last I heard, he's still doing UT, and it's working really well for him.
Yeah, well, that's my story. You know, that's how mine started, was with the arthritic hands, and that sold me. I mean, when the arthritis started leaving my hands, I was like, geez, man, this is just crazy cool, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the dreams, and I want to get my energy back, but the timing for me was awful, because I did, and when I picked up this bug, it was nothing to do with UT. It had nothing at all. I just was unlucky.
Yeah,
but,
bad timing.
I just started UT on the day that I picked up this bug.
Yeah.
And this has been such a slow recovery. I mean, Reiser came over to visit from Ireland, and you know, we struggled through it. We had a good time, but I was far from the best of my health, and very tired all the time, and freezing cold, like I had a chill all the time. And I just stopped everything. I had to, because I didn't know what was causing it, and I was a little bit nervous, so I just stopped. But I'm certainly looking to if I'm not far away, you know, from getting back to what I would call reasonable health. And when I do, Casey, I will try it again.
Well, you know, I'm sending you love, light, healing energy always, my friend. You know, that it's all about getting past what we knew to be something that we're walking into the waters, my friend. And you know, once you get into you know, past the feet and start getting up to your knees and neck, man, I tell you what, the waters just get flowing and going, and it becomes miraculous. It's truly miraculous. I can't find a better word to describe the experience, at least in my experience. And I know that I'm not alone. Now, Brian, let's bring Brian in, because he's been sitting in. Let's make sure you're coming in loud and clear, my friend. Tell us a story.
Okay, Casey. Before I start on my little adventure, I just got a message from a friend of mine who wants to listen to the live link. Can you drop the link into the Skype room there, into the chat?
I don't. Once I get started, I don't touch the screen. But just go to the Facebook Weedu SHIVAMBU. My Facebook page, Weedu SHIVAMBU. That's it. And it's broadcasting live on that format right now, and people are watching.
Okay.
So that's easy. Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, I'll do that in a little bit, but I'll just start off anyway. Okay, I've been doing UT for about 5.5 years now. I started because a good friend, allegedly Dave. I actually knew Dave well. I've met him a couple of times. He's from England as well. He came up to Ireland a couple of times. He's involved in other things that we were all involved in with courts and legal stuff and all that kind of, you know, we were on that journey. And then he was big into health, and he did a radio show about urine therapy, and then he also did a show with Andrew Norton Webber. And I had met Dave before. He was doing the UT, but then he did his famous 30-day fast, which a lot of people are aware of.
Right.
And I met him not long afterwards. Again, he came over to Ireland again. I met him not long afterwards. And I have to say, man, he looked incredible. Like, there was such a difference, you know. And I had already started doing the UT because of his show. I said, I'm going to try this. But once I saw him after the fast, I knew this is the real deal, you know. And I just felt at the beginning as well, like most people do when you start, I got this amazing buzz. I was high. I had this energy which I never had before. It was just like, where did this come from? And then I did it for a few days, and I kind of felt like, a healing crisis kind of hit in, and I felt a bit out of sorts. But that passed after a couple of days, and then I just continued doing it. And ever since, I've not looked back. I mean, I've had also like problems with my joints as well. They've all cleared up. Any little pains, aches and pains and stuff. Then I started. I was drinking about 2 or 3 regular-sized jam jars, you know, of tea a day. And then I also started washing. I started to decide I'm going to wash myself with this. So I started first by just washing my face. And then I started doing full urine baths, basically, full body washes. And I just felt so exhilarated after this. I just felt so clean. I felt healthy. Felt alive. It was the most amazing experience for me ever. It was life-changing for me. And again, mental clarity. As Graham was saying, I had these incredible dreams, which are just like adventures. Just amazing.
Well, I did. I haven't had a shower since the 3rd of January. Where I actually was in water. I have not been in any water but my own since the beginning of the year. Now, I did my hair, my face, my eyes, my ears. I shaved. I did and I use Age for the body rub, which I really love. I use Fresh for my face, hair, eyes, and ears, and I use Age for my body. And I'm perfectly clean. I never smell. Nobody ever looks at me like, ooh, what's that smell? Never, ever.
No.
And it's truly refreshing. It's amazing how quickly you feel it when you absorb it into the skin. And, my hair, my hair is just good all the time. And it's the only thing that's been in my hair is pee. For 2.5 months, it's the only thing I put in my hair is pee. It's crazy.
That's it. Obviously when I started washing myself with it, I thought, okay, am I going to smell here afterwards, But when I was washing my face with it and my hands, I'd smell it about 10 minutes later, there was no smell. And then, of course, I washed my hair with it, and again, I thought there was a smell initially, but once the hair dried, it was a really nice, fresh smell from my hair.
Well, when you realize...
I even asked a friend of mine who was staying with me at the time, please smell my hair and smell me. Do I smell of pee? Because I didn't want to be going out smelling like a urinal, obviously,
Right.
So they said I smelled great. They said I smelled of vanilla and coconut. I thought, well, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, Brian, and I know you know this from your experience, is that once you realize what you're dealing with, your own waters, it's perfectly sterile, it's totally healthy, it's full of stem cell enzymes, it's rejuvenating, it's rebuilding. In the course of a year, I have totally, my whole body has gone through a complete transformation. I am pain-free. Quit taking all medications. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm at a perfect 165. I'm reversing my age. Everything, just like you. People say, hey, dude, you look, you look like 14, 15, 20 years younger. And I get that all the time. People look at my earlier videos and they go, dude, you look like you're 30 now. I'm going to be 65 this year. I admit
that because I saw your videos when they came out first, and you certainly look a lot younger.
Yeah, I swear by it. Anybody who poo-poos on the pee-pee, they're not doing their homework. That's the way I look at it. You just need to do more research, understand what you're dealing with here. It's not what people think it is at all.
Yeah. But I've had the same said about me too, that I look a lot younger as well. I'm 55, so I'm 10 years younger than you, or I'm 56 actually now. So, really, I look a lot younger than that's great. Hair is still kind of going grey a bit, but I think that might change in time too. I don't know.
Now I've got my boots on. I got my pissing boots on, man. I've had my pissing boots on for the last 2 hours. Now there's nothing cooler than putting the pee in your rubber boots and massage the feet, because the sole of the foot just absorbs it so beautifully. And man, it's just an awesome grounding experience. It's like having a personal foot massage, and I don't have to be stationary. That's why I like the boots. The piss and boot thing works. And I have gloves too, you know, so I do that with my hands too. I put in a cotton glove inside, and I have these kind of big industrial gloves. Pour the pee in there and just massage my hands. It's awesome. I mean, it really is amazing to me. Truly, it is.
I have to try it. I have to get my pair of rubber boots. I have a pair, but they're good ones. I got an old pair, and I just do that, you know.
Yeah, and the pair I have, I mean, somebody even asked this morning, you know, like, you know, the rubber, you know, with the cloth and all that. I said, look, I've had this pair for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, because I did a lot of construction. Now, the first time I did this, the residual really stunk, because I had all that dirt and sweat and everything that had been embedded into the boots for a long time. So even though the massage felt good, when I dumped out what was in there, I was like, whoa. But they don't do that anymore. I mean, I don't, you know, I exclusively use them now for my urine therapy. That's all I use them for. And they're just fine. They air out perfectly. You know, it's just it's a no-brainer to me. And Denise put up the link, Graham. It's you know, the link's on there to click on. Yeah. Thank you, Denise.
The one thing I'd like to add is what I did find easy, Casey, was actually drinking it. When you think about it, you think, my God, I don't know, you know, because you've been so programmed. But I did find it easy. I did not find it difficult to drink it at all. That surprised me, and that was, and I didn't have very long, you know, because like I said, I was sick after one day, and I'd really gone down with this bug, which has killed people. People have died from this virus this year. So I did have a real bad case. Like I said, I've never been so sick. I can't remember the last time I was that ill. So it was a pretty scary time. But, you know,
Well, in the body, you know, when the body, the thing is, and this is really, this is the truth. And I've got a heart specialist watching that is a dear friend, and I don't know if she's still there, but she appeared that she was watching. And yeah, I can tell you, she's a vegan, and she promotes vegan, healthy lifestyle, you know, as a heart specialist. And that's where I started. I was a vegan when I started my urine therapy, so I hadn't eaten any, I hadn't eaten any processed or garbage or anything for quite a while. And so when I started, I was good to go, but I was flushing my system. I was drinking my pee. I was doing distilled water and just fruit. You know, that's all I did for weeks. And I just went for it. I went for the gusto. And again, like you said, Graham, my first glass, I'd only heard about urine therapy 2 days before. And so here I am pissing in a glass, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, well, here it goes. And I drank it, and I went, what's the big deal? There's nothing to this. There was nothing to it. I've never looked back. I've never had a challenge with any of it. Nothing. And I was off all medications in 2 weeks myself. I quit all of them. I haven't had any medications for over a year. None. Zero.
Yeah. I mean, on the medication side, I mean, it is going to be a real challenge. But I would think you wouldn't look to be cutting down. You would listen to your body, and it would tell you. It would tell you whether you need to be taking this medication or not. For instance, painkillers. If you've not got pain and if you've not got the shakes, then you don't need them. So if your urine therapy is going to work, that is going to tell my body that you don't need to use it anymore. I imagine that's how you got off them.
Yes, I became pain-free. Okay, so that happened. Okay, I became pain-free, so that was an apparent to me. But more importantly, now in my life formerly known as me, I would have anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, all those kind of elements that would entertain my brain, and that shit's gone. You know, my pineal gland's open, my dreams are fully clear, You know, my experience of my whole entire body, how my body operates, my spirit, my heart. I'm more empathetic. I am more open-hearted. I'm more just fluidity. I mean, it's the best choice of words. The waters make you more fluid. And it takes away all that. It extracts. It just totally extracts all that nonsense that is not healthy. And the body just, you know, the body will respond to whatever shit you want to throw at it. You know, it's the law of adaptation. It's the actual, you know, our body will just keep adjusting, and we can throw all sorts of shit in there and it'll just keep doing that. It'll just adapt. And so, you know, here you are on meds for 30 years, my friend. I mean, you know, there's an adaptation for you.
Yeah.
And you can make that adjustment to reverse that activity. It's just a matter of time. It's simply a matter of time.
Yes.
And as you keep pursuing, and it is no race, you know, you don't have to, you know, you just take it, trust your body, listen to it, trust your instincts, you know, but the biggest challenge everybody faces with urine therapy is what their mind warps because of everything they've ever heard about pee. And once you get past that block, you know, and can wrap your hand around the fact that pee is not going to kill you and that it is a healthy choice, and you decidedly make that, you know, go, it works. It just works. The rest just takes its own natural course. It's just getting our mind fuck out of the way. Yeah. You know, that's the big step. That's the biggest step, I think, for everybody. And it was for me. My first reaction was, what? People are drinking their pee? What? You know, but hey, man, I tell you what, I've never been happier, healthier, and I won't turn back. You know, there's no way. I loop my pee every day. You know, it's awesome. I feel awesome all the time. I just feel awesome all the time.
Yeah, you're way too happy for me, Casey.
Yeah, I know. I got my happy pill on. It's called my pee. You know. Resonating at a high frequency. Hey, Tim.
I noticed that in your video. I got to listen to this guy. This guy's way too happy for me.
Yeah.
He's smiled many times. I just listen.
Yeah, I mean, I am. I'm a happy camper. I really am just truly happy authentically. I don't have to pretend about anything, you know. And when I'm angry, like, you know, our attempt on Tuesday. Now, I wasn't angry, but I was certainly frustrated.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so I was dealing with my emotions at that point and doing the best to stay in check and remain with a sense of humor about it. But it was, I mean, after 13 restarts, are you shitting me? What the hell? You know?
Yeah.
That was nuts. It was just nuts. And that didn't stop there, like I told you guys. I was on the phone. I was messing around for 4 straight hours. 4 hours, talked to 6 different people. I talked to the same company 3 times. They said, okay. And then I go right back, and it was still broken. I have to call back, talk to another person. I talked to Kim and Joe and Jim and Jenny. You know, it's like, how many people do I have to talk to get this resolved? You know, it was crazy. It was insane. And it was just a glitch in the matrix. You know, I don't know what happened with Messenger, but it just hijacked my phone. Completely. Wouldn't let me do anything with it. Just kept cutting me off. It was crazy. Really nuts.
It's not nice having technical problems. All I ever wanted to do, and I'm sure you're the same, Casey, being in the entertainment business like I was, all you want is the gear just to work.
Yes. Yeah.
And once the gear works, everything else will look after itself.
Yes, but, exactly.
But I found I got this guy that corresponds to me, and as far he's very keen on it, and it's working for him, and he can't wait to get back on it. I should imagine he's back on it because I've not heard from him for a few days. But he was looking to get back on it. There was another lady writer that was taken. I don't know if you've heard anything from Lily.
Yeah, no, she's still at it. Yeah, she's
still.
Yeah. She said she was feeling a little bit drained of energy at times.
Okay.
So I reckon that's just kind of a healing crisis thing, which we all go through. That's kind of the way I felt for a bit.
No,
no, she's coming through it. You know, again, you got to just stick with it, get through it, and you know you will come through. You have to go through a bit of a pain barrier at times, and then you will come through it. So just to go back, Casey, you know, when I was over with Graham visiting him, and you know he was in bad shape, you know.
Yes.
And I was trying to like encourage him gently, maybe just try a little bit, but then you know I couldn't. You know, he just couldn't face it. He was suffering, you know, and I just said, okay, I'll just leave it. Do what you need to do. Listen to your body, whatever, okay? And I just thought, okay, just let him get through this. And once he starts feeling better and he's ready for it, he can start afresh and go for it then, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that then will help him wean himself eventually off all these meds that he's on.
Yeah, and like I said before, I just give him love, light, energy, bro. You know, I support you 100%. You know, I don't impose my will by no stretch. You know, I have no business doing so, but I love you dearly, bro. I do. And it would just be an amazing testimony. You know, when you're at a point where, you know, you're just happy and free and off all those meds and drinking your pee, and what a story you'll have, my friend. 30 years of meds? Good Lord.
Absolutely. Like I said, every day that I've never known anything, of course it's because of my age as well. As you get older, everything's such a slower recovery rate. And this particular illness that I've had this time has really floored me. And I can actually note it's incremental. It's very incremental, but I'm feeling better every single day. Today I woke up and I didn't feel like shit, which is the first time. And then as the day wears on, I become a little better. But even as I speak, Casey, I'm still feeling a little bit chilled. I'm still not right, but I know it's getting. Excuse me. I know it's getting better every day. And once I get to that point, yes, I will definitely try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered a little anecdotal thing that I wanted to mention. That when I was talking about all the frustration on Tuesday, and I went through all these layers, all these people, and I finally got this tech guy, and he works for the phone manufacturer Motorola. And once we solved the problem, we just started talking. And I told him what had happened, how my show was interrupted. And, oh, yeah, what kind of show? And so we started talking about urine therapy. And he's from the Philippines. And he went, wow. I said, yeah, man, this is the real deal. This is the real thing. And he wrote down my my YouTube channel. You know, I said, man, I can't do that. I'm at work. But when I go home, I want to check this out. You know, so, you know, it's really just kind of amazing. You know, after all said and done, you know, here's another person willing to just take a look and see if it resonates, you know. It's cool like that. That's why I'm always upfront about it. That's why I tell people, I have nothing to hide about any of this, ever.
No, and it's been across the world, isn't it, Casey? I mean, this has been practiced by various cultures for thousands of years.
5,000 years of recorded history.
Right, okay.
You know, and here's the more important note about that. No one ever in recorded history has died from drinking their pee. Now, how many things can you say that about?
That's so true.
You know, I mean, really, how many things can you actually say, you know, that you could just do this and it won't kill you?
Yes.
Yep.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, vitamin P. It's the true stuff, man. Vitamin P. That's all I need is vitamin D and vitamin P, and I'm good to go, you know, my photosynthesis, you know.
Yeah.
It works.
Vitamin B, D, and P.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, vitamin B is in beingness.
Well, yeah.
And Glenn says, science has shown us time and time again that the #1 cause of disease and aging is, in fact, dehydration. stay hydrated. Okay, now I want to comment on that because I don't drink a bunch of water. I don't. I just drink pee. I do. That's what and it hydrates me perfectly. It's my beverage of choice. Even when I'm out on the golf course, which I made a video yesterday, I had a lot of fun doing that, you know, and I have my little collapsible cup, you know, I just stand there in the golf course, pee in my cup and drink it, just like that, you know. It works. It's totally perfect hydration, and it's vitamins, minerals, stem cell enzymes. It's all there working for you. I love that part. You know, I mean, I look at people that drink those Monster drinks and Rockstar and, you know, diet sodas and all that shit. I go, really? Yikes. That stuff will dehydrate you in a blink. It's designed to dehydrate you, not hydrate you, dehydrate you. Yeah. And even certain water, you drink the water and you don't feel hydrated at all. You know, think about that.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
You know, got to think about that. I'm never walking around thirsty. Never. I never think about it. It doesn't even occur to me. And I drink way too much coffee at this point. You know, and I plan on changing that again. You know, come summer, spring, you know, I'm just coming out of my hibernation, and coffee's just comforting, so I drink it. But you know, I never worry about being hydrated. Never.
I'd say I drink about 2 or 3 of these, you know, jars of tea in the morning. You know, it's the early afternoon, and then if I have to drink any more, I just drink herbal tea from distilled water, which I find is pretty good too. I find that's, you know, you're getting good stuff in you all the time. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, this is a point I like to illustrate, is that because I drink my pee every day, and I do plenty of it, I loop several times a day, I don't concern myself with anything else in consumption, never. Whatever I eat, if I choose to eat, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter to me anymore. The chemtrails, I don't care. You know, the G5, I mean, I don't care. I got a pea coat protection on, and I know it, I can feel it, I sense it, and I just know this.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So even when you go out, I know a lot of people are very careful about what they eat, so even if you go out to a restaurant and you're careful, you know, what are you eating here? I find just, you can, you know, obviously eat as best you can, but you don't have to worry about it too much, because the pea will just wash, you know, will pull all that out, anything bad in there.
Yeah, anyway, it does.
So I don't, you know, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a natural, go ahead.
I'm relaxed about it, you know. I don't worry about stuff, you know. Well, what is this GMO or whatever, you know. I'm kind of going, well, I just drink my pee and it's just going to clear all this out anyway. So what's the big deal, you know? I don't stress out over this stuff anymore. Well, I kind of used to before, you know. I was very clean, you know, getting organic food, you know, and all that type of stuff, and I still do, but I don't stress out if I eat something that isn't so good for you, you know what I mean? It doesn't bother me too much.
Well, people get really anal about it, and I'm certain that for a lot of people that are in dis-ease, it's not what they're eating, it's what's eating them. And stress is one of the biggest killers there is. Stressing over bullshit is one of the worst things you can do, and people do that. They stress over all sorts of things that are just completely nonsense and out of their control. They don't think about what they can control, which is their perception, their perspective, that, you know, you choose to be either at cause or effect, and people that live at effect, they pay a higher price for admission. Big time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And going back to energy as well, Casey, you know, I go to the gym about 2 or 3 times a week, and again, I just drink my pee before I go to the gym, and I work out for 2.5 hours, no problem. And you know, the guys in the gym, you know, it's the instructors who are all fit guys, and they're saying, "You're still here?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "What are you doing?" I just gave them a little secret. Drink your pee, guys.
Yeah.
They all laugh.
Forget the steroids.
Yeah.
And we just we have a bodybuilder that just joined us, and she's lovely. She's beautiful. Yeah, and that's the beauty of it is that different people discover, you know, that you know, healthy choices are certainly considered, you know, and you choose to have a healthier diet. It makes a big difference. Let's face it, it just does. You know, modifying our consumption makes a big difference. Intermediate fasting makes a difference. You know, reducing excessive sugar, salt, these things, they do. They help. But peel work either way.
Yep.
It works either way. You know, yeah, but if you want faster results, you do different things. You change your lifestyle. And that's what I did. I changed my lifestyle. Everything about it changed. And I'm a happier camper. Hello, Elizabeth. We got some beautiful, beautiful humans joining us today, you guys. I mean, really lovely people are joining in, and it's just so nice to see.
It's great to see this growing, Casey. You know, it really is, because it's, you know, generally it's such a taboo type topic, but everyone's just accepting it now, and so many people jumping on board and jumping into the, you know, into the deep end of the P, and and it's amazing, you know. And as I say, you know, once you do feel the benefits of it, you cannot go back. You just say, this is for me, and let's see where it takes me. Let's see what journey it takes me on, and it's just a wonderful adventure.
Well, and that's the beauty of the groups, is that you can see how many new people are coming on board daily.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happening. I see it every day. New people are coming in, and they're you know, they're excited. You know, I just drank my first pee. You know, it's like, wow, man, good for you. Welcome aboard. You know, this is cool. And all I really hope that people appreciate is themselves. That the mystery is not outside of you. The magic is inside of you. And as long as you appreciate the magic that lives within, and experience and explore the possibilities and the potential of your own divine nature, your perfect nature, and P's a part of that perfect nature. You change your mind, you change your heart, you change your diet, you change your attitude, you change a lot of things, and miracles happen. Everything, the whole dynamic shifts. It's a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. I've never had more fun in my life.
Yeah.
I really haven't. It's just
that's why I really think Graham will, you know, once he starts getting on this, I really do, because I think he's got faith in himself that he's going to do this, and he wants to go. He wants to get better, right? That's his intention. He wants to get it out there. He wants to get off this shit that he's been on for 30 years. He wants to get off that.
Yes.
And he is now, he's on board, and it'll be great, as you say, Casey. What a testimonial that will be once he weans himself off all this stuff.
Yeah,
will, you know, when he does, you know, he will be a different man, and he will be doing some amazing things. He's doing some great things at the moment, you know, but his health is holding him back. So once that goes, you know, once he's fit and healthy, and you know, he'll be raring to go. He'll be going full bore, man. He'll be great.
Yeah, and it is. It's you look at how long it's taken to get to the condition your body is in, and 30 years of med is going to take its toll, man. That's some road rash right there.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I just think it is so bloody unlucky that you pick up a bug, and I've never been so knowingly picked up a bug. It just hit me in the back of my throat. What the hell was that? And then I started coughing, and that was the first day I'd done UT. And I was still like feeling the benefits of it. And then the next day the bug had taken over, this virus had taken over, and I became a very sick man. For 3 weeks, until I took the antibiotics, then I started to see some improvement. But I must stress, like I said, because of my age, it's going very slowly. But I'm not afraid, and look forward actually to the point where I could do this again. Even from the point of the dreams, the 2 dreams that I had were incredible. Incredible.
Well, we just got a comment that came up that I want to note, and it's a little long, and it says see more, but Michelle, she says that she had been on antidepressants from 11 years old, and they kept me on them for 32 years with many side effects, swapping them around, suicidal effects, made it worse, then had cancer removed a month ago. And it goes on, but I can't see it. It says see more, and I'm very hesitant to ever touching my screen anymore while I'm doing broadcasts because, you know, shit happens. So,
I know.
But the fact is that all of these elements that you're referring to, 30 years, just like Michelle noted, you know, the side effects, this, that, and the other, they're destroying our immunity. And that's why you're so susceptible when you caught this bug. Your immune system shattered.
Absolutely, I agree.
And so until you get to a point of restoration of your immune system, your natural order of beingness, you're vulnerable. And that's, I mean, look around. This is a worldwide phenomena that we're looking at. And you look at how many, the number of deaths from overdosing on pharmaceuticals has gone past gunshot death and death by drunk drivers in this country. More deaths by, and people just doing their prescription on schedule. It's not like they're overamping them. They're staying on schedule. But the body can only take so much.
Yeah.
And it's criminal to me. I consider it criminal. And the fact is, even with the vaccines, no manufacturer, no administrator, no doctor, no nurse, nobody has to take any responsibility for the outcome once they shove that shit in your arm. Nobody. They've been protected by law. Now that's insane to me. That's insane.
Yeah, I believe, Casey, there was a drug called Vioxx. I think it was an anti-inflammatory drug which killed more Americans that were killed in the Vietnam War.
Yes.
That says a lot, doesn't it?
Yes.
Now, why weren't the CEO of that company taken out and brought to a court for murder, basically? What happened there, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that
companies are protected by these.
The pharmaceutical companies are no different than the petrochemical. They just pay fines, even if it's in the hundreds of millions. It's a drop in the bucket.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They nobody goes to prison.
Oh no.
You know, if they were really held accountable, and you know, you pop one of these CEOs and go, dude, you're done. You're going to prison for 10 years. You know, what's the charge? Mass murder, genocide. You know, what your company's doing isn't working. You know, but nobody gets held responsible. And even when they do, you even go back 20-some years, you know, to the Exxon event up in Prince William Sound. They still haven't paid any of those monies at all. Those people that were totally wiped out because of that oil spill, you know, lost their whole revenue. They lost their businesses, their whole fishing enterprises. I mean, it was a disaster. And they still haven't been paid.
No.
You know, it's a criminal system. It just is.
Oh, yeah.
And until we understand how much control we have as an individual to really turn our experience around and take control of our lives, we're just going to be victims of a system, because that system is in place for a reason, and it's not going to serve you in the long run. Hey, Tracy, glad. Yeah, got a brand new one, brand new to the Facebook, and learning about vitamin P. Love to having you here. It's nice to have you, Tracy. So yeah,
I think, Casey, about you know, when you start drinking your pee, you do start taking control of your life.
Yes.
And your health. And that's what it's all about. We have to take responsibility and not be dependent on, you know, big pharma or the government to help you out here, because they don't care. They don't give a shit. You know?
No, they don't.
You have to take care of yourself, and when you start taking care of yourself, you get stronger, and you realize that this stuff, you don't let them bother you anymore. They don't let them get to me anymore. I laugh at them now. When I look at the news, I look at headlines in the newspaper, I laugh at them because I know most of it's bullshit anyway.
Yes.
So I laugh at it.
Yes.
And it kind of, as you say, you get your pea suit on. This stuff just bounces off you.
Yes, it does. Now, even in this country, we have the CDC, which is the Center of Disease Control. Now, this organization has over 50 patents. Now, think about that. 50 patents. Now, wouldn't that be some kind of conflict of interest if they are a system of government that's set up to protect the population? Why are they in the patenting of... they're supposed to be our watchdog. Who's watching the watchdog?
Yeah, and then when you see, these chief executive politicians then will leave their political jobs and go become CEOs of these companies.
Yes, exactly.
There's the revolving door,
Exactly.
They're all in. It's a criminal cartel.
It truly is. It's just, you got to call it what it is. These guys are just, legalized mafia.
Yeah.
Really, in the simplest terms. And they got us by the balls, in a general sense.
They've got to go.
Yeah.
They have to go.
Yeah.
Have to get closer. We're growing. The one thing to say about the movement, is that it's not shrinking, it's growing every day.
Yes.
There's one drug I want to take for the rest of my life, and that's a truth drug. I need my truth every day, and the more we find out about these people, the closer we get to getting to them.
Yes.
They're going down.
Yeah, and this is the thing about being the light, okay? And we become lighter beings, more spiritually at tone. We become our own atonement. We become our own personal Jesus. We're walking on our own water. We're multiplying and experiencing the true essence of well-beingness. Now, once you discover that, pretty hard to take that shit away because it's all an inside job, period. And once you walk away from a system of abuse, which the system by design is all set up for abuse, every aspect, everywhere, and I don't care what category you pick, they're set up for genocide, they're set up for eugenics. It's by design. The food industry, the agriculture industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the chemical and petrochemical industry, the industrial military complex. It's all designed that way. The way the politics is set up, the protection agencies are set up. It's all set up for a demise. All of it. None of it's there to protect citizens. None of it.
Yeah, well, the parasite will end up destroying itself, Casey. Once we expel it, once we don't let it into our lives, it will die because it's got nothing to feed on.
Well, when you walk into a dark room full of rats and roaches and turn on the light, they all scatter. We need to be the light.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to be the light. We're living in incredible times. There's no question about that. The knowledge I've gained over the last 6 years has been more than I've learned in my entire life. And it's just everything's a complete 180 to what you see on the TV, what you see in the films, what you read in the newspapers. We know controls it, and we're working towards. They're getting worried now. They're starting to get really worried now.
Yes.
They're taking down YouTube channels, Casey. They're taking down, stopping people writing, but they're letting their people do their thing. So they know they are, we know they are, and we're winning. We're winning. We cannot lose. Yep.
Well, and this the whole change, the paradigm shift, is about consciousness.
Yes.
It's not about getting a bigger stick or a more loaded gun or a bigger banner and shout louder or any of that. It has nothing to do with that. It's about raising consciousness, and this is the whole purpose of my experience, is to actually invite and celebrate and welcome diversity, and bring all of the tribes together and quit warring. Because the whole system is set up to keep separating us and keep us at odds and fighting amongst ourselves. The system is designed for that. And it's good at it. You know, you look around the world, okay, and you look at just how many stadiums have been built. Corporately enterprised stadiums. And this is Roman, okay? This is throwing them to the lions kind of thing. You know, it's people spilling beer all over each other and shouting at each other because of their team or whatever. You know, give them cake and circuses.
Yeah.
And we are in those times on steroids. The Romans had nothing on us, what we're doing to the society anymore. I mean, it's just crazy off the hook. The cage fighting, women fighting, you know, this, that, and the other is savage. It's also pro-violence and ridiculous. Blood sports.
And that's the whole divide and conquer thing as well, you know.
Yes.
Everyone at each other's throats, you know, everyone fighting each other. And what's the point of that? Because there's going to be no winners there.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
So yeah, as I said, we've got to start taking responsibility and doing our own thing and spreading the word whatever we can, whatever truth we're on, getting it out there, and not being in people's faces, just calmly, gently dropping nice little truth bombs in there to people and getting them to look at themselves, find out for themselves, and then they will jump on board.
Yeah, it's about loving them. It's all about loving them. That's it. And if you can ensure people that the first and foremost and most important thing that they need to recognize is loving themselves.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah.
If you can't learn to love yourself, trust yourself, respect yourself, how can you expect it from anyone else? And P is your truth serum, my friend Graham. P is the truth serum. That shit's for real. Man, it'll wake you up. It wakes you. It wakes people up. You know, they realize how much they've been sabotaging themselves and gooning themselves and looking in the wrong direction. It's just an awakening that is. I don't know what to compare it to. I really don't.
Yeah, it's sometimes difficult to explain it, actually, Casey, isn't it? What actually happens to you, the transformation that happens within you.
Yes.
It's sometimes difficult to explain it to people because each of us have our own little experiences, you know.
Yes.
And I'm trying to explain that to, like, this is what happened to me, and you know, and then other people will try, well, that didn't happen to me. But you know, you just have to just let it happen. Just drink your pee and just let things happen, and they will happen.
Well, I'm wearing my my symposium shirt today, and this is something that I found to be a very important idea. And Anthony A.K. King, founded this idea with the Water Life Symposium. Now, the opportunity that I experienced last year, and the new ones this year in September in Vegas, 21st, 2nd, and 3rd at the Westgate. You can find it at wateroflifesymposium.com and register, $35. It's a walk in the park. But what happens there is a communion. It's a love. It's a beautiful, amazing opportunity to really embrace what you're experiencing in a shared environment with others. And every story is different. That's the beauty. There's no ageism, racism, sexism. There's no isms. It's just love. And I met some of the most important people that I know in my life because of P. I've met them physically and personally, and then we're going to do the same thing, my friends. We'll be in each other's arms someday. You know it like I know it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're working it. The amount of people that I talk to and commune with and and message and video chat with and have phone conversations. What's up? I mean, we're in information superhighway, and we can just extend ourselves and hang with people in amazing, beautiful ways. That is just, there's no reason. That's why we got to get past our petty bullshit. You know, that the whole argument over politics or whether, you know, people eat this or eat that. Fuck it. That is not important. What's important is that we learn to love ourselves. And once we can learn to love ourselves, we can love everyone. Now, we don't have to like everyone. We don't have to agree with everyone. We don't have to buy into their logic. You don't have to do any of that. But love, if you can't love yourself, you ain't going to love anybody else. You're just batting at the breeze, wasting your time.
Well, I mean, I've got to commend you, Casey, because I remember looking at your YouTube videos from the, you know, from the beginning, because I just was on YouTube, and again, you just popped into my life. Was that PN that just brought us together, some kind of synchronicity or something?
Yes.
I said, who's this guy? You do SHIVAMBU, you know, I'll have a look at him. You're doing these 10, 15-minute videos, and, you know, you're reciting your great little poems, and you're putting out some really positive stuff, you know. And you could see your YouTube growing exponentially. And look what you're doing now, man. You've got this high vibe tribe. How many people are on board here now?
Yeah, it's over 400, and I only started it on the 1st of the year. Yeah. So, and it's growing. You know, and the other groups, when I had Monica Swift on last week, and she runs one of the groups called Urine Therapy. There's 2 Urine Therapy groups with just that name. And one's in capitals and one's in small case. And hers is in the small case. And she told me on that interview last week that they're fielding, you know, 80 to 100 requests for membership a week in that group.
Wow.
Now, it's got to tell you a lot right there. You know, and I know that with Bobby Picani, too, with the Natural Remedy group, these groups are growing. They're all growing. New people are jumping on board. They're seeing it. They're getting it. However they're finding it, whatever timing that people have in their experience is the perfect time. Now, you know, I had to lose all my teeth. Now, I wish I had known about urine therapy, you know, 20 years ago, because I could have totally turned my oral distress around, but you know, it came when it came. I look at the results of a year of UT practice, and I'm a miracle, man.
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah, it's pretty...
Physically, I'm a miracle.
Yeah,
and that's just
you've just been on it a year, Casey. Look how far you've come. You know, that's incredible. You know, I've been doing it for 5.5 years, and at the beginning, I was kind of reticent about telling people about it. Okay, this is my kind of own little private thing, and let's see how it goes. But then after a while, I just went, fuck it, I started telling people I drink my pee. And surprisingly enough, most people reacted positively to it. Like a few little negative things, but very few. Most people were positive about it.
Well,
that didn't mean they're going to start drinking it, but at least they listened to me, that's a start. Start by listening. And then, if you do get sick, you know, it'll come, yeah, who was that guy who told me about drinking tea?
Yes.
Try that, you know.
And that's it.
You don't know what impact you're having when you're just saying this, you know. You might just mention it offhand in a conversation and forget about it, and then 2 or 3 months later down the line, some guy will come back to you and say, you're the guy who was talking about drinking tea. I say, yeah. When I started and I'm feeling great. And I go, well, good for you, man. That's brilliant. That's amazing, you know.
Well, I posted a poem, I think, yesterday or the day before about planting seeds, and that's all it is. It's about planting seeds. That's what it is. They'll sprout when they sprout. I just plant them. That's all I do. Yeah. You know, Johnny Appy Pete. And, you know, the thing is that if you do some homework, do some research, I did. I ordered books right away. I just started ordering all the books, and I read them over and over and over. And more importantly, I have my own testimonial. I had my own personal experience. So the more that you awaken to your own enterprising experience of transformation, it is way easier. You know, it's just way easier because, you know, it's not hard to be authentic and truthful because you're being honest and authentic and truthful with yourself. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to get Graham. You know, Graham's going to get better. We know that. We're going to, you know, he's on board. He wants to get off these meds. I know that. When I was over with to visit him, he's just sick of these things. They're messing up his life. He hasn't got energy. He's not sleeping very well, and it's holding him back. And he wants to get off this stuff. So the P will definitely help him. And when he's ready to go for it, he'll go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would. Yeah, absolutely. I got so much I want to do. I can't do it because of lack of energy, illness, just mainly lack of energy. And you're at the point where if you're drinking your pee, then you're going to try anything. And I say again, it is so easy to take. I couldn't believe how easy it was. So it's just a question of getting myself to the right level of health now, and I'll do it again.
Yeah. The thing is, Casey, I was telling Graham about urine therapy for quite a while, and he was, you know, he was intrigued by it, but he wasn't ready to start. And it's only when you came on the show that I think you really jumped on board then, Graham, didn't you?
Yes, I did, and so did some of the listeners.
And so a lot of listeners. We got a very positive feedback from that show, Casey, that you were on.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Just shows that when we speak about this stuff and we put it out there in the right way, you know, people will listen and they'll just say, what the hell, let's try this, let's see what happens. And then they come back and say, hey, you know, I had a pain in my hand, I couldn't play the guitar, now I can play the guitar. And go, wow, amazing, brilliant.
Yeah, isn't that something?
This is what it's about.
Yeah.
This is what it's about, you know.
Well, even now with my golfing, okay, now I can go out and play 18 holes. I mean, playing day after day when I have the opportunity and sunshine and time, and no more hand soreness. I'd play 18 holes. I mean, because I had the hand surgery last year, and it took quite a recovery from the surgery. And so I still have sore, like a thumb knuckles. They're healing, but they're healing, and I know they're healing. Now I can go out and play 18 holes, no problem. I don't lose my grip. I don't. My hands aren't sore. I don't have to have any recovery. Zero. It's amazing.
And you're my age, Casey.
Yeah, I'll be 65 in July.
Okay, you're just a year behind me, so we're close enough to know that it works with people of our age.
Absolutely. Yep. 4 years ago, I was waiting to die, brother. I was fucked up mess. I was waiting for neck surgery. I mean, I was a mess. I couldn't drink enough alcohol and smoke enough pot to make the pain go away, and I had meds too. I was taking handfuls of meds. Drinking, man, I was in so much pain. It was just like, shoot me, please. It was crazy. That was just 4 years ago. And now I look at myself, and I was unhealthy. You could see it in my pallor. You could see it. I was up to 246 pounds, and I weigh 165 now. This is what I weighed when I was 19 years old. And I'm taking my body rub this morning. I'm standing there totally naked, spraying my aged urine. And I'm looking at myself in this full-length mirror, and I'm going, dude, you're looking fucking good, man.
Place you're gonna have the chicks running after you soon, man.
I got my eye on somebody. So, I have lots of girlfriends, and they are my friends, and I love them dearly. We have a great respect and a great trust, but, I have a gleam in my eye about someone. So
I also heard. I think this was on Andrew Norton Webber's website. He put up some talk that some guy did. I can't remember his name now, but he was talking about pheromones. That when you watch yourself in your own pee, you give off these pheromones, which the opposite sex really kind of go, wow.
well,
I thought that was kind of
the person that caught my attention. Now I've been abstinent and single for over 10 years now because I had problems. I sex addiction along with all my other addictions, and so when I finally stopped, looked, and listened, I realized that, and I didn't plan this. It wasn't like, oh, I got to go on, become a monk for 10 years. It just wasn't like that. But any time that I entertained a notion with someone, red flags had come up, and I'd realized that, no, dude, don't go there. This is what you don't want. And so it kept reminding me. And so the person that caught my attention actually started drinking pee because of my videos. And after a couple of weeks, just did a shout out and wanted to see if she could just talk to me. There was no agenda. She just was like, you're amazing, man. Can I talk to you? I said, well, sure, we can talk. Why not? And so I gave her, we exchanged numbers, and man, it's been a magical journey for, it's going on. We've been getting to know each other for the last few months, and things are growing. That's all, and I'm very private about it because it deserves that quality of respect. When it's ready, it'll be ready,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to serve it up until it's ready to go on the table. And we're both pretty excited. We adore each other. And there's a lot of respect. We just have a lot in common, and we resonate at a really high vibrational level. And that's all I want in life. I'm fine alone. I'm not a lonely guy. That's not how it works. But it's not that I wouldn't like to have somebody to hug, on a regular basis, somebody to endear on a regular basis. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, it's always good to be with someone who's on the same wavelength and who's, as you say, resonates with you.
Yeah.
Just, you just feel stronger in yourself as well. That and you can bounce ideas off each other, and it's great.
And it's really uncanny, quite frankly. And way before we met, we were listening to the same people. We go to bed at night and turn on Alan Watts and Terence McKenna and Muji, and all we're doing the same thing. Had the same books in our libraries. Yeah, the only thing that hadn't until a couple weeks before we met was the Urine Therapy. But she got right on board and was totally down with it. And so it just expanded rapidly. And the same with our discussion about plain Earth. All these windows just opened, and curiosity and the appreciation was just natural. It was effortless. It's been effortless. It's been crazy cool. I dig it.
Yeah.
I love our conversations.
Yeah, I'm just asking you, Casey, with regards to Graham, maybe you also help distilled water. What's your impression of that? Do you drink much of it?
Well, I use only distilled water. I have to bring all my water in. I have to buy the gallon. And Cornelia says I'm breaking up, and I can actually see a little. It has nothing to do with me. I could see that, though, going on with my camera, that there was some delay. I hope it's better now. It looks like it's recording okay. It happens. Technology in action. But anyway, to answer your question about the distilled water, that I started on the distilled water when I started on UT. I'd never, it was because of the interview I heard with Dave and Andrew that led me to that. And so my feeling is that it is zero, just like the urine. It's a sterile and cleaned, and my natural minerals are already contained within me, and so I don't feel like I have to add anything to that. The pee is all the minerals and vitamins I really do need, and I'm confident of that. I'm clear about that. So I use distilled water only, though. And I use it sparingly because I have to bring every gallon in. Everything that I do with water, I have to buy it by the gallon and bring it into the trailer. And so I make my coffee with it. I do, I give the cats some. I wash, I even actually, I do a lot of minimalist washing. I use pee and distilled water, whatever's available for me in the moment. Doesn't matter. People think you wash your dishes with pee. Yeah, I do. I wash my clothes with pee. Yeah, I do. You start realizing it, and I started learning this through experience, okay, is that every detergent that you use is chemicals. Even those purifiers, those hand things, all that stuff, and what people are doing is poisoning themselves with these products. You're not purifying anything. You're poisoning yourselves. It just breaks down your immune system. These are by design. Germs are healthy. People think germs are unhealthy. Fuck no, germs are healthy. That gives our body a chance to build natural immunity. The more we try to reject it and reflect it, the more chances are we're going to be affected. It's just the way it works.
And by design.
Yeah. So for me, I just trust.
As well, Casey. When I go and take a pee, I'd wash my hands afterwards. I don't do that anymore. And if I drop a little bit of pee on my hands, I just rub it in. My hands are nice and clean anyway. So.
Yes.
I think, so all these things have been trained to do, wash your hands after going to the toilet, and this type of stuff.
Oh, piss on them, man. Rub that shit in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works. It does. Yeah. And I'm grateful. I'm really grateful that I understand this and I apply this knowledge. And I can only encourage people to trust their own experience with realizing it. Just trust your own experience. But I guarantee you, your hands will be fresh. They'll smell fine. Just rub it in. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
And they'll be more sterilized, and they'll be germ-free. Go figure.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed as well when I was watching with the aged urine, this is during the summer last year, so what I did was afterwards, I sat out the back, totally naked, right? No one could see me, at least, so I wasn't offending anybody. But I was just sitting there in the sun, letting the sun, rays just shine down on me. And I noticed these little golden, sparkly flecks on my legs and my arms. And I was looking, what the hell is this? And I'm just, this whole thing about gold being in your pee, I think there's something to that.
Yeah, well, it is. And Rosalind's proven that. So is Monica. Okay, Rosalind sends her Ormus to a analytical lab in Australia and comes back with the actual measured content and how many things that are actually existing in the pee in the periodic table, and it's off the chart, man. It's crazy cool when you realize how much is in there, Yeah. And that's the whole thing about the aging. The more you age it, the more that stuff it just empowers, just gets better.
It is. It's potent, and as I say, I feel it after I do a full wash.
Yeah.
Basically what I do is I just get into the bath. I have this silver bowl which I pour the pee in. I just sit in the bath and wash everywhere. Every nook and cranny, everywhere. My hair, under my arms, all over, right? And I just let it dry naturally. But it doesn't dry, it just absorbs back into the skin anyway. It dries very quickly. Your skin will dry again very quickly. And there is a bit of a smell for 15, 20 minutes, but then it goes, and then I smell my arm or my hand about half an hour later maybe, and it smells amazing.
Yes.
And I'm just like, wow. And I feel so clean. I'm shining, actually. I'm shining. I look in the mirror and I'm shining. I'm glowing. It's again, it's just one of these things you kind of like, it's hard to explain it, you know, but there it is. You look at yourself in the mirror and you go, wow, you just look fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, water doesn't absorb into the skin. Pee does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to rub water off. I mean, it'll evaporate, but it won't absorb. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You know, but pee will. Now, I'm going to address a couple of quick comments here, guys.
Okay.
Carol was saying the great thing about using distilled water in a percolator, which I have a glass percolator, is that you never have to descale it, and it stays squeaky clean, which is true. You never have all that calcium. The calcium's gone. That's one of the things I appreciate about distilled water. And K. St. Keith has also made something which I think is an important notation, and thank you for sharing this. He said us from the UK should hold a get-together. I'm sure there must be a UK group that meets up, and if not, I'm game for a convention or something and contributing towards it. And I think that's great. You know, there's, I mean, it's all about communing. It is. You know, the more people that get together, you know, the better. And we can do this online, but there's nothing like giving a brother or a sister a hug. Nothing like it.
Yeah. I totally agree with that, Casey, because I'm involved in different groups, because different other things I'm involved in. And when you meet the people face to face who are going through the same thing as you, and we're trying to sort problems out and help each other, and just to meet these people face to face and know them, to say, shake their hand, give them a hug, whatever, it's wonderful. You can't beat that.
No, and again, I'll express that some of the coolest and most wonderful people that I have big heart with, I met because we were at the symposium. We had that amazing opportunity to be in each other's presence. And, you know, there was a lot of knowledge there. You know, we had, you know, a lot of knowledge was being shared, but the important stuff was the love, the communion. That was the really important stuff, is realizing that we're not alone. That's the real gift right there that you walk away with. And we'll be friends for life. I got friends for life. I know it. You know, it's amazing how beautiful it all is. And I get new friends every day. New friends come every day. And I get to know my friends. I do. I spend a lot of quality time getting to know my friends. I have so many conversations with people that call me from all over Europe, Africa, India, you know, the States, Canada, Australia. I mean, it's amazing to me. It's mind-boggling to me how cool it is.
That's right, because myself and Graham went over to a kind of, you know, a Truth or conference in England last year called Alternative View, and it was held in a hotel. We took over the hotel. It was 300 people, I'd say. So we had a whole hotel to ourselves, lots of talks and speeches and whatever. But that was a great weekend, Graham, wasn't it?
It was, mate, yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing was you were with your own. As a gentleman said about setting up your own group, I agree with that, if you can organise things like that. Because when you are with your own, as we were at AVH in this Truth conference, 3 days, if you wouldn't listen to the speaker, he was always talking to people who were on the same page, or if they weren't on the same page, they were very close to you, you know, and it was just a fantastic experience for people to get together who were doing the same thing.
Yeah. It was great fun as well, you know, it was great fun, great vibe there, and yeah, people had different opinions about different things, but we all knew that there was something extremely wrong with this world, and we're trying to put it right, and we're trying to work out ideas for what we can do, all of us, you know, and it was a great kind of positive energy about the place, which is wonderful, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love you too, Don. Don's down in New Zealand. You know, it's already tomorrow where she is. And Venice is here, and she's in Australia. It's already tomorrow where they are.
So I've got to cut out. I have an appointment in half an hour, and I have to cut out at this point. But thank you, Casey. I've loved being on the show. It's been a pleasure to talk to you again, and I'm sure we'll have you back on our show, Riser. Especially when I get back into it. And I will keep in touch with you, Casey, and maybe ask for some guidance as I need it.
Yeah, you know, my windows are always open for you, my friend, always. You never hesitate, please, to contact me, ever, about anything. Even if you just want to hang out and chat, I'm down with that. It doesn't have to be on an agenda at all.
No.
Yeah.
Well, thank you much, and thank you for asking me on. I do appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate your time and coming and joining us, Graham. You bring a lot to the table. You're a fine man, and I appreciate your willingness to step into the higher order of your well-beingness. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and I'm back at you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can stay on for another half an hour, Casey, so that's no problem.
Yeah. I mean, we're, you know, the thing that I've learned, they go as long as they go, and you know, the longer they go, it just is longer on my backside for post-production work. You know, because I have to create the MP4s, and you know, there's just a lot of post-production work after the broadcast that takes time. And that's all. The longer the video, the longer it takes. That's all. That's what it boils down to. It's all good to me.
Well, I'll catch up with you later, Graham. You're still there. So,
yeah, Graham.
Yeah, but I'll hang in there for a little more with you, Casey. No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. See you, and to all the listeners, and love to everyone out there.
Yeah, thanks again, Graham.
Okay, goodbye.
See you
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you, Casey.
You're so welcome. So does anybody listening have any questions that they might want to address with Bryzer? You're welcome to ask if you do. Otherwise, we're all good.
Just another thing that I used to suffer from, Casey, was gout. And once I stopped eating meat, the gout kind of went away, but I was still getting the odd attack now and again. Well, once I started drinking my pee, I was still getting them even after drinking my pee, but then I think it just took a while because I was on this medication for the gout, and I think I just had to clear all that crap out.
Yeah.
But I've been gout-free now for 3 years.
Yeah.
Not even hang, you know.
Yeah,
I often think it because gout is what you talk about is a build-up of uric acid.
Yes.
There's also a lot of uric acid in your pee, so and I'm thinking, well, am I just putting more uric acid in my body? And then I'm realizing, no, it's just neutralizing the whole thing. And
yeah.
It's pulling out all that bad stuff that gets into your joints, you know, it kind of clogs things up. So so it cures gout too, folks. Gone. 3 years clear. And I used to get it bad when I did have it. I mean, I could be in bed for a week, 10 days, not able to walk, and I tell you, that is painful. It is.
Yeah, well, my friend who I was living with up in Washington, he had bouts with gout, and he still does. I mean, he supports me 100%. He's been lovingly supporting me in every way, right from the beginning. But he's not down. It's like he'd rather take all his meds and his supplements and vitamins, whatever. It's all good. I don't beat him up. If he tells me about his physical stuff, I just say, well, you know what I'd recommend. Drink your pee, man. But I know what you're talking about with the gout, because I mean, he even just a sheet laying on his foot in bed was excruciating pain.
Oh, excruciating.
Yeah.
Like excruciating. And I just say, you're laid up for a week to 10 days, and you can't do anything. You can't walk. You can't get comfortable. It's just 24/7 pain.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that's gone. That was debilitating for me, you know.
Yes.
So thank you, P, for that. The P sorted that one out.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Also getting off the beat. I'm a vegetarian. I'm not vegan, but I'm a vegetarian, and getting off the beat, I think, was a big thing as well, because I don't think that's too much for you at all, you know.
Yeah. Well, Keith said that it helps his gout too.
Yeah.
And I want to acknowledge you, brother, man, that you've been like doing the clean thing for several months now. Is that correct?
I've been doing the what?
Well, our brother over there in the UK, he went sober several months ago, and
right.
as far as I know, he's still maintaining that, and you know, good for him. You know,
Yeah, good for him.
you know, the whole thing is it's really about understanding, listening to your body, and if you're doing things to your body that isn't of the highest good and serving you, you might want to look at why you're doing them. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, what some people can do is, some people can do it and get away with it. You know, people can do different things. Nobody's different. Yeah, we're all different. Nobody's has the same exact experience. Nobody.
In case I still drink a few beers, a glass of wine now and again, and sometimes I'll have a good time, you know, overboard. But you know, again, I find even if I do drink a lot more than I should, the next morning I drink 2 or 3 glasses of tea, and any kind of hangover-y feeling I get, it's gone. It's gone within an hour.
Yeah. Well, and
again,
I've only...
I don't get caught up about it either. I think, should I give up drinking? And you know, I kind of like to go out and socialise, and it's a great way to actually tell people about this as well, you know, and it's in a nice social setting, and it's relaxing, and it's, you know, I enjoy that whole kind of thing. So, but I'm aware that if you drink too much, that it doesn't help. But so it's maybe I will knock it on the head at some point too. I don't know.
Well, I bought a pint of brandy recently and just sipped it and enjoyed it. Okay, but if I was an alcoholic, I'll be the first to admit it, and I drank a lot, and I drank every day, a lot. And if I was going to, there you go, 5.5 months, still going, man, good for you. And I quit for 3 years, you know, before I even had, even entertained the thought of having a drink. And at this point, I'm way over it. And that's the point. It's not an addictive behavior anymore.
No.
At all.
No.
You know, so if I sip a little brandy, I'm not going to trip on it like, oh, dude, what you fucking doing now? You know, I don't trip on it. As a matter of fact, I bought a piece of salmon today. I've just been reintroducing fish back into my diet. Now, again, when I went vegan, I cut out meat, dairy, seafood, all of it. I could just cut it all out. But you know, I'm finding that at this point in my experience that, you know, I'm good. My body's good. I don't feel any bullshit, you know, and I enjoy myself. I just enjoy it. I enjoy my life. I don't want to live in a sense of denial. Now, when I went all fruit and just was doing the raw thing and like being all righteous about that shit, you know, I'm going to become a breatharian, you know, and all that. What was happening? This was really serious, okay? I recognized something in me that I hadn't paid attention to before, which is that I had obsessive compulsive behaviors. Now, this works in many dimensions because I was a professional chef and a filmmaker and show business, so my attention to detail is really superb. But at the same time, I can push on an obsession to the point of, like, over the edge. And that's what I was realizing. And urine therapy helped me really kind of figure that out. Because I was becoming obsessive with, you know, oh, look at me, I'm going to be Mr. Healthy and all that shit, right? And I was pushing myself way too far and over the edge. Now, here's where it really came around the bend for me. This is when it really clicked. I was a professional chef, and a really good one. Cooking was one of my meditations. Cooking was something that I always enjoyed doing because it was just a creative outlet. It was creative arts. It was culinary arts. And I realized that I was living in this state of denial, and it was having an adverse effect on me. And I thought, dude, get past yourself. You know, yeah, I mean, cook. You know, if that's what you want to do, if it makes you feel good. And man, when I cooked, I felt good. I felt great because I know how to make beautiful, delicious, tasty meals. I know how to do this. It's part of my innate nature. And so I don't live in denial about anything. But I'm not obsessive about anything either. I've really calmed that shit down. Big time.
You know, what it does is it kind of relaxes you about life. You know, you just take life one day at a time. You don't let things get to you.
Yeah.
As you say, you know, you get worried. Oh, I might get a bit obsessive about this, or I get worried about this, and then I go, fuck it. You know, things will happen, and if you just in the right vibe, it'll sort itself out.
Yes.
It will. And I think the P is so wonderful with that because, as I say, it gives you this mental clarity. The little message comes through your head and saying, just calm down, relax, dude, it'll be okay, you know?
Yes.
And it is. It always works out that way.
Somehow it does. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just, you know, and I see all these people worrying about stuff all the time. Oh, God, you know, can I afford to pay my mortgage? You know, can I afford, you know, can we do this? Can we do that? I mean, just, you know, relax, just chill out.
Yeah.
It'll work. And when you need to do what you need to do, you'll do it. And you will put everything into it.
Yes. No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's really learning to listen to your body, trust your instincts, and don't get the fuck out of your own way.
Yeah.
You know, and the more we can do it, the better we get at it.
Yeah. That's a good saying, that. Get the fuck out of your own way.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. That's it.
Nobody gooned me better than me. I didn't need anybody's help.
Yeah.
You know? And
sadly, we can't be our own worst enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
That,
you know, and that's what people make me laugh. I look at it like, yeah, you're gonna goon me. Oh, good. Okay, let's see. What do you got? Good luck on that one. You know, I see that shit coming because I've known it too well. I do. I mean, it's pretty transparent anymore to me. You know, it's pretty effortless anymore. And plus, I have a higher degree of empathy, and my heart's more open, my mind's in clarity. All those things have been really accelerated in amazing ways. And I trust it. I do. I trust my experience totally. And I got no reason to lie to people, you know, because I'm not going to lie to myself. Why would I lie to anybody else, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I just don't trip on this shit anymore. I just don't. And people are going, oh, no, he's not a vegan. He's eating fish. Well, oh, gee, are you just going to give me a one-finger salute and walk away because I made that choice? Fine. What am I going to tell you? You know? I just can't go for that Nazi attitude anymore, like my way or the highway. It's just bullshit. People get too rigorous and righteous about their posture of belief, and it doesn't matter whether it's their diet, their modality, their meditation, their yoga, this, that, and the other. Take a chill pill, you know? I mean, if it's working for you, great. I think that whatever works for people is the best choice, whatever that is. It's not up to me to decide. And I have no judgment about it. None.
Yeah, it's kind of during my whole waking up process, figuring out all the bullshit that was going on in the world, you know, 9/11 and all of that, and I was trying to explain to people. And I was angry because I discovered that I was lied to for most of my life. And that is, you know, that is a reaction you will have. You will get angry because these bastards have been lying to me all my life about pretty much everything.
Yes.
So you want to get out there and you want to tell people this. Of course, they're not ready to hear it.
Of course.
You know, and then I just realized, and I think the P helped with this. I said, I got to calm the fuck right down here. Yes. And I don't push it anymore. But if it comes up, if something comes up, I just drop what I have to say. And I'm finding that people are now listening to me a lot more and are getting it now.
Well, when you're relaxed about it, when you're relaxed about it and you're not pushing an agenda, it makes a big paradigm shift. And I know what that obsessive behavior is like, trying to wake people the fuck up. I mean, I did that bannerism and beating them over the head with a bat forever. I did that forever.
I know how you feel. You know, and I realized that maybe this is me. You know, I'm angry because, okay, I got lied to. But then, of course, I realized that everybody else got lied to, too.
Of course.
And everyone has their own little waking up moment. And so if you're in a conversation with people who don't really know what's going on, but something comes up, they talk about the government doing something, right? And I just jump in with something quite, because again, there's mental clarity. I put out this kind of, you know, logic and reason and reasoned argument, and put it out gently, and people kind of go, oh, yeah, I never thought about it that way.
Exactly.
And you see the coins dropping, the pennies are dropping.
Yeah.
You know? And off they go, do their own research. About 4 or 5 people have come up to me who I spoke to about 4 or 5 years ago about all this stuff, coming up to me now saying, you know, that stuff you were telling us about a few years ago, you're right. They started looking into it themselves and got there eventually. You know?
The chemtrail thing, I've been watching that since 1998, making videos, writing poems. I've been doing this, you know, for 20 years. Now the cat's out of the bag, okay? You know, it's like if you still think I'm nuts, well, you obviously got your head up your ass, and don't you know it stinks up there? You know, you just have to understand that this is all documented. It's all acknowledged anymore. All you have to do is some research. There's no big mystery involved.
Yeah.
You know?
I said, and I say to you, get the fuck out of your own way and look at it.
Yeah. Now you say, you know, like, you know, you were angry at, you know, it's the 5 stages of grief. And I went through that when I first like got to the recognition that I wasn't on a spinning globe. And then I realized how much deeper that rabbit hole ran. And that one really rocked me. That one twisted my melon. And so I had to really reel in on that. And I was angry, you know, and I went through all sorts of levels of the depression and the grieving and all that stuff. But I just settled in because I realized it doesn't matter. You know, you know, we could be living on a pyramid. What fucking difference does it make?
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
I was looking at that too. I was looking at that flat earth stuff too, and I was like, wow, this is amazing, because I never looked at it that way before.
Yeah, but I trust my own observation. I trust my observation, my experience.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I like, here's where I put the notation in reference, is that you got pseudosciences and you have applicable sciences, observable, you know, data proven, not just theoretical, hypothetical, mathematical probability. There's a big difference. Now, when you understand things at a observable and practical scientific understanding, it shifts the paradigm, because all science kind of gets bubbled into this umbrella called science. Well, it's not all the same science. It's just not.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, you know, when you look around, yeah, it certainly seems flat with some bumps there with mountains and whatever.
Well, I call it a plane. It's not really flat. It's just a plane.
Yeah,
it's not
plane,
moving. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not spinning, hurling in a heliocentric. It's very geocentric if you just observe it that way. And that's the way I observe it. I don't care how other people observe it.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. If you observe it that way, great. You know,
Yeah.
fine. If you still think we live on a ball, well, fine.
Yeah,
you know,
knock your socks off.
I don't really know for sure, because I don't think I'll ever get up high enough to look down or fly over the Antarctic to see if I come out the other side or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That'll never happen. So, you know, go with what's what's happy with you. You know, just.
Well, it feels better to me because in my natural state of beingness, it's like I wrote and published a poem this just before the show about nature, nature's calling, and my experience of being on Earth is very balanced, very grounded. Water always seeks its own level. The horizon's always at our eye level, no matter where we are, whether we're on top of a mountain or we're on the ocean shore. Our horizon, they call it sea level for a reason. They call it the horizon because it's horizontal. If it was something other than that, wouldn't they call it curvizontal or some shit, you know? I mean, really, think about it. It's just, you know, these terms are very eye level, sea level, you know, horizontal. These are all leveling terms. They just make sense, you know. They just make sense to me.
I started moving away from it a bit because I was looking at a lot of these YouTube videos about flat earth and then all the comments, and then people would say, oh, it's a ball because of this, and then they would be accused of being a shill or being an agent or whatever.
Oh, exactly. It's all argumentative. Bickering, argumenting, beating each other up. I mean, come on now, come on. You know, get over it. And that's why I stepped away and focused on urine therapy solely. I made a couple of flat earth videos that I made early on and stuff, and I recognize, you know, here's how I got to focusing on urine therapy, because I've been in show business a long time. I have archives like up the kazoo of all these performances, and I've been writing and publishing poems forever. And when I started making the YouTube videos and I discovered analytics and I started looking at my analytics, that all the posts that I was making, I mean, I put up a post about, you know, a show I did or this, that, and the other. It had 3 views. Urine therapy, it'd have 50 views, 60 views. And I said, wow, that's interesting, you know. And I keep scrolling and looking, and I'm like, man, the only thing anybody's paying attention to on this channel is urine therapy. I guess I should just kind of center myself and focus on urine therapy, which is what I chose to do. And so hence, that's what started Weedu Speaks. That's what started the whole ball rolling, was Weedu Speaks to Weedu Wanders to the ORIN Oracles. It's all just been an evolution of its own. It's taken on a life of its own. All of it.
And you said you just let go of everything and you just went on the journey, you know?
Yeah.
You went on that road and let's see where it takes us, you know?
Yeah, I like it. I like the path.
Life is challenging, Casey, as you know. It's challenging. And I like to take the hard road, you know? That we have to take some knocks now and again, you know?
Yeah.
But we just pick ourselves up and we keep moving.
Yeah, it's never a matter how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get back up. That's the only thing that ever matters. You know, and every path is different. There is no my way, highway, man. That's bullshit. Everybody has their own path and their own walk to do. And it can get bumpy. There can be curves ahead. The bridge is out. Detours ahead. You fall off the road. You land in the ditch. All those things. But it's a matter of whether you get up again.
That's it. Then eventually you're to the top of the mountain. And when you get to the top of the mountain, you just enjoy the view. And then there's another mountain over there that says, okay, let's go climb that one and see what happens there.
Yeah. You ever heard of the peak-to-peak principle?
No.
Okay, this is a curious. There was a guy named Robert Schuller, and he was the minister for the Crystal Cathedral out in Anaheim, California. Very interesting story behind this man. But he was a brilliant writer. He had several books, and he was a televangelist, so he had a big TV following and all that as well. But more importantly, his literary contributions, and one of them was called the Peak-to-Peak Principle, and it was P-E-A-K to P-E-E-K. So you're climbing peaks to get another peak, and so the higher you climb, you get a better view. And so, you know, metaphorically speaking, it was very sound because it's all about higher consciousness and raising your vibration and raising your understanding. All of those elements played metaphorically perfectly with that metaphor. You know, climbing peaks to get a better peak, get a higher view. You know, so it is, and that's what life is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just depends on what you're paying attention to.
That's it.
All it ever boils down to.
Because when you get to the peak, you can just look all around you and see everything.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. You know, I love climbing mountains. I always used to do it when I was younger, because it's just amazing when you get to the, because it's an effort to get to the top. But once you get to the top and you see, and you've got a clear day, and you see that view, you just go, wow, that's amazing. You know, look at this amazing world that we live in. Look at the oceans and the scenery, and I appreciate all this stuff now, the land that we're living on. You know, there's so much beauty out there. There really is, and it's sad to see that a lot of it's being destroyed now through our own stupidity.
Well, if you look at the human experiment, we've done the worst job as a species over all other living matter that ever evolved on the experience. We've done a worse job than every other species, completely. And
we're supposed to be evolved, you know.
Yeah.
We haven't evolved. This whole theory of evolution.
De-evolution.
Evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've devolved. We've gone down.
Well, when I was talking,
there was a golden age. We had a golden age.
Yeah.
Way a long time ago, and look where we are now. We're in the depths of hell, man, more or less.
We've
allowed all this stuff to happen to us.
When I was talking to Monica shoot this morning, I said, I told her, and this is proof, this is science, this is data, so I didn't make this shit up. But they proved it scientifically. That goldfish have a longer attention span than the average human. A goldfish.
Yeah. Goldfish, yeah.
Jeez, man. I mean, what does that tell you about the culture? You know?
Yeah.
That's crazy. People can't pay attention for 5 seconds. You know? I mean, it's like crazy.
Because there's too many distractions, Casey. There's distractions everywhere. The TV, for me, is the biggest culprit of them all. Throw those TVs out. Get them out of your home. Those things are poison.
Television. Well. They call it programming for a reason.
Yeah.
You know. Yep.
Yeah.
The one-eyed monster.
And once those distractions don't bother you anymore, life just becomes better and clearer, and you can deal with stuff so much better. You know.
Yes.
And you don't let things bother you so much. Yeah, I'm concerned the way the world's going, and I like to be able to put solutions out to people, figure out how we can turn this around so everyone benefits.
Well, and the best way to do that is live by example, my friend.
Exactly.
You can't punch people in the face and expect them to respond in a positive nature. You know, that just doesn't work, and I did it a long time. Try to beat them over the head with a banner of bullshit. Just doesn't work.
Looking up to a leader, be your own leader and lead by example.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know, live your truth. You know, be authentic. People will resonate to your genuine sense of beingness more than you realize. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, at least they know what they're dealing with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, at the moment, like, I'm fighting the banks at the moment because they're trying to take my home from me, right? Because of stuff that happened a while ago, and I lost my job and got into mortgage difficulties. But then, of course, I realized that the whole thing is a big scam.
Yeah, hijacked.
I've been to court and all the rest of it. But I didn't get stressed out over it. And the urine therapy really helped because when I do go into court, I'm relaxed. I'm not nervous.
Yes.
I can put my points clearly to the judge. And I haven't won, Casey, by any means.
But you haven't lost.
I haven't lost either.
Yeah.
I'm still here. I still have the roof over my head.
Yeah.
And I've been 4 years at this now. They still can't get me out of my home.
Yeah, good for you.
It's great.
Yeah.
You know? And I've been telling other people who are in the same difficulties, who are stressed out, and I understandably so, because this is so stressful.
Yeah.
People going into courts because they don't know the legalese, they don't know, it's a very intimidating place.
Yes, by design.
I see people shaking with fear, and I want to come up to them and just hold them and say, hey, it's okay. all is not lost, but you have to lose that fear of this, you know. But it's very difficult to get through to people when they're in that state, you know.
Well, and you can't straddle it. It's either love or fear. You can't entertain both of these notions within your body. It won't work. No. It cancels it. It just cancels it.
Yeah. But then when they see me and I say, I got a possession order on my home 3 years ago, 2016. No, 2015. Right? I'm still there, and I'm saying to people who are only going through the first stages of this, I say, look, 3 years later, I'm still here. You can do it too.
Yeah.
Look at me. I've done it.
Yeah.
Leading by example. Leading by example.
Indeed.
And again, as if I get through to these people and say, you know, if you start drinking your pee, everything, you lose all that fear, that nervousness, that worry and stress, that will all disappear, and you will be able to deal with this so much better.
Yes.
And we could end up beating them as well. We could actually end up beating them, which would be phenomenal. But, you know, it's a long, drawn-out game. It's a big game, you know. There's a maxim of law that says, he who leaves the battlefield first concedes defeat. So, I'm staying on that battlefield. It's a battle, it's a constant kind of thing. It's a big challenge for me. But I ain't giving up. No way.
Yeah, good for you, bro. You're a true warrior.
They're not gonna do this. I'm not gonna let these fraudsters, these criminals, take my shelter away from me.
Yeah.
How dare they? You know, after what I put into the hard work that I put in to get the house in the first place. You know,
yeah.
All the energy I put in, you know, save up and whatever to get that, and now they want to just take it away and throw me out in the street. No, sorry, they ain't happening.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you know what, brother? We're coming up on the 2 hours, and I want to wrap it up just because the longer they go, the longer it takes me into the day to make. I think we've covered an awful lot of ground today, and I really thank you. I love you so dearly, my friend.
Casey, it's a pleasure, man, and you know, thank you for coming on our show. And we have to return the favor, come on yours. And I love listening to you, man. Your positivity is just uplifting. You know, it really is.
Well, thank you.
You're doing great work. You're doing great work. You know, the high vibe tribe. You know, there's so many people joining now. We're getting it. You know, we're getting the numbers in.
Yeah,
one
day at a time. It's one day at a time, man. You know, just breathe it in. Yeah. You know, there's no race here. You know.
No need to get freaked out that we're not doing enough. No, we are doing a lot. And just let things happen. Things will happen. We just have to keep putting that positive stuff out there.
Yeah.
And sharing our experiences. We'll get there, man. It's a long road, but we'll get there.
Yeah. I'm enjoying the journey every step of the way. I don't trip on it. I just don't.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So I do want to remind everybody, just again, I've got some great guests in the queue for the weeks to come. Next week I got Lana Love, and then I got Andrew Visker, then Kirsten Lazur, and then Glenn Dixon, and hey, Glenn, there he is. He's got, man, I'm looking forward to the one with Glenn. Him and I have some fun. And then Monica Shute. I finally nailed her down to a date. So, you know, the calendar is filling up with some pretty exciting personalities, characters with great wisdom and bring a lot to the table. So I'm really appreciative for that. And also, I want to remind people about the Water Life Symposium this year in Las Vegas, September 21st, 2nd, and 3rd in the Westgate. Go to waterlifesymposium.com to register. I love you too, Diana. And also, this is the last opportunity if anybody wants to offer a comment towards the book or make a donation towards the book. I have just these just over the weekend. Otherwise, Monday I send off all the finals and that'll be the end of anybody who wants to be in the book, inclusive. You need to respond to get her done. And then tomorrow I'll be back with Saturday morning cartoons, 10 a.m. I love that part. And so anyway, it's all been glorious. I love everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us, and our beautiful guests, Brian Smyth and Graham Hart. They just have so much to offer and bring to the table. It's been joy-filled, joyful. It's been a wonderful time. So thank you again, my friend.
Thank you, Casey. That's a pleasure. And we'll have you back on our show again. When Graham gets on the UT and starts really feeling the effects of it.
Yeah. No hurries, no worries.
Yeah, it'll happen, man. Okay, it'll happen. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
But we'll always stay in touch. We'll be in touch anyway. So.
Oh yeah, always, man. I love you, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I value our
too,
friendship.
yeah.
I do. Yes.
It's great to have gotten to know you. You know.
Yes.
So I knew I had to reach out to you at some point there a few months back, and we did, and now here we are.
Yeah, look at us.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Boom! You just been loved. Ha ha! Booyah! Yes, indeed.
Love it.
All right, man. So everybody,
Okay,
thanks
go,
again,
Yeah.
and have a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day wherever you are. Enjoy. Be the best you can be. Give yourself a big hug. You deserve it. Love everybody.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Thanks, Casey.
All right.
Thanks to listeners as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. No, they've been loving you, bro. The comments have been showing that.
Cool. I'll have a look at them later. I'll go on to Facebook soon. I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, right on. All right, everyone. Peace out.
Thanks, Casey.
All right.
Peace out, man. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I got something in the way here that's not letting me cut it off. Damn it. There we go. Should be done now.